take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
Welcome to another episode of Take Flight Podcast. This is a Take Flight Takeaway episode with myself, Daniel. In this week's episode, I'm going to talk about the importance of rest without getting psychological on you all, and coupling that with being comfortable spending time alone. So without further ado, let's get right into this episode. So over the years, I've typically only used annual leave for traveling or to attend a special event, whether that's a wedding or graduation. But recently, I decided to take a week off work with no real plan on how I would spend it. I'm fortunate to work in a company that recognizes the importance of rest and recharge and offers recharge weeks twice a year. This is where the company is closed for the week and only critical functions and roles are supported, but they have the opportunity to take a week off at a later stage. I shared the benefits of these recharge weeks in a previous episode a year or so ago, but not to go into detail. One thing I stressed, and one of the key differences of a recharge week versus normal annual leave, is the fact that you don't come back to a mountain of internal emails or messages upon your return, which can bring a great level of relief, as sometimes when we take that annual leave, we come back dreading the first day of what our inbox is going to look like and spending the first few hours just sifting through what's important, what needs to be actioned, and what can be delayed in terms of a response or action. Actually, whilst we're on the topic of recharge, in the beginning of July, I had the benefit of having one of those recharge weeks at work. And to be honest, that's what encouraged me to take another week off. I had constructed my recharge week in a way that I planned to be busy on the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, leaving the Tuesday and Thursday for days for me to just be at home to rest and not do too much. However, I ended up spending the majority of that week a little too productive, some could say, that I didn't get all the rest my body wanted or needed. So I listened to my body, and alas, another week was booked off of work. I have 25 days annual leave a year, so it's nothing like I have 50, because some people in the podcast make it sound like I'm always off, but I only have 25 days of annual leave a year. It's very important that we listen to our bodies and we take time to rest. There are many benefits that psychologists and other experts will say that is beneficial for the body when we slow down and rest, but I'm not going to get into those facts. Just listening to your body will tell you, and it, is great for healing, for growing, and just repairing the body and your internal cells, etc. The rest doesn't have to be filled with anything per se, but it can be an opportunity and a chance to slow down and just go with the flow of the day. So if for you that means having a lie-in or waking up a bit later than usual, go for it. If that's having an afternoon nap or sleep, do it. Don't feel guilty for it. Your body truly does need it and does deserve it. When you think about how busy you are all the time, what you put your body through, I'm sure it would thank you for just slowing down and just allowing it to repair itself. The way I spend my rest days, or the way I spent, rest days and my recharge days, I kind of group it into one, was I started off as normal, but would make time for a nap and not to fill up my diary with unnecessary things or tasks that will take too long or make me occupied for large amounts of the day. So with me, I do the nursery runs with my son. So I'll wake up at usual time. Early mornings or disruptive nights wouldn't necessarily annoy me or irritate me so much, because I know in the day I can make allowances and make time to rest and to nap, to close my eyes and not do much. So that was fantastic. I'll get some exercise, do some movement, and I would then either on my busier days have my to-do lists and tasks that I want to tick off, or I would just go with the flow and relax. I'm not one for Netflix or series or things of that nature, sitting in front of a TV, but some people like that, and that brings them a great sense of relief. It really lifts their mood and brings them great calmness. So if that's something you really enjoy and your body benefits from, go for it and do it. After all, these are not things we do every day, but our body once in a while can really appreciate it. I went to the cinema by myself. I went to watch Bad Boys. I thought, rather than waiting for this to come on Sky Movies, why not just go to the cinema, having that cinematic feel, the atmosphere, etc. That I actually realized the last time I went to the cinema was just before COVID. Not before COVID. It was 2021, just before my son was born. I think it was December. I think my wife and I went to watch Boxing Day. And I haven't been to the cinema since then. So this was nice for me just to really just sit down in a chair. I was by myself, but I don't mind that. And many of you that know me will be glad to know I stayed awake for the full duration, although I did check how long the film was to make sure. it was something I could stomach, because in the past I have had the great knack for falling asleep in the cinema and not feeling any way about it. That I'd have to watch this film maybe 2 or 3 times so I fully caught up on it. But yes, I didn't sleep. I also went for lunch by myself. I also had a day where I spent with just my son and I in London. That was fantastic. That was great. Whilst I did enjoy all the aforementioned activities, I realized that for one to really enjoy and be present at that time in that moment, you have to be comfortable being alone. I can probably say I have no problem being alone and having enjoying my own company. It is sometimes lonely. So, as you know, I'm a married man. I love the companionship that brings, and I love spending time with my family, whether that be my wife, my son, or collectively as a whole. That's not when the sense of loneliness comes. The sense of loneliness comes is when I travel for work, and that's usually due to the time difference. So the time difference could mean that it's either early evening in the UK or middle of the night, and where I am, it could be middle of the day or early evening, or in some instances, the morning. And it's like, boy, I have no one to talk to, because the Instagram feed isn't refreshing. There's no one to update or post anything. No one to talk to. WhatsApp messages stay delivered with no response. And there's no one to call. My day's done, work's done, dinner's been had. And it's like, yes, I can explore the city, and sometimes I've already done that, or it's a place I've been to, or I just don't want to do that. And it's like, well, I've got 3 or 4 hours for me to go to bed at a more respectable time that I can have a decent sleep. And it's like, how do I spend my time? It's just me in my hotel room. What can I do? So that's when I'm talking about feeling a bit of loneliness. But I notice and I know the difference between being alone and enjoying my own company versus being lonely. And I think it's about understanding yourself about where that lies and how that fits. Too often we take days off work when we're feeling not great, when we're sick, when we're not our best. And we need to do that because we're not feeling great. And we don't have a problem doing that. But how about if we took proactive measures and took regular planned days of rest that we incorporate into our schedule, our diary, our calendars, whether that's quarterly, semi-annually, whatever it may be, however you deem it fit for your body. What if we did that? Those days of feeling overwhelmed, overworked, burnt out could soon diminish. That we think these deliberate days of rest are actually doing better for my body and help me be the best person, be the best version I can be to others. One great benefit of rest is that we listen to our body and we're able to give our best to others. For me, I know that when I'm feeling very tired, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, or have a lot on my plate, I can be highly irritable. I would not be the best version of myself to my family, to my wife, to my son, to friends, to others. And that doesn't benefit them as much as it doesn't benefit me. So sometimes if we are able to really look in the mirror, see, when are these moments creeping up? When are they coming? And what can I do to deter them, to prevent them, so that I can pour out the best from myself, give the best of myself to everyone around me, and not be that irritating person I am. My wife will tell you that I can become short-fused, I can be very snappy, very blunt in my responses. And yeah, it's not great. And I'm sure we all are, and I'm being very honest with you. So yes, I recognize that the need for this time of rest is very important. Too many times I say to my wife, take a few days off work to just relax and do nothing. Our son's at nursery. Take days off when he's at nursery, just so you can enjoy not having much to do. And to be honest, I'm still waiting for her to do that. But sometimes we take joint days off and we go to the spa and we do something for the day. But that day quickly eclipses. And I always recommend taking a few days off, because a few days, in my opinion, is what you truly need to fully immerse yourself in this wonderful experience. Trust me, it is wonderful. This is not a few days at the weekend, because that's different. It's not one day, I think minimum two, 3 or more, minimum 2, but if you can do 3, it would be fantastic, or 4, or the full week, that would be even better, because you truly just get to slow down. You haven't traveled, you haven't exerted yourself, or doing an itinerary for a trip abroad, etc. But you're able to just to relax and spend it how you wish. So my parting question to you as a listener is, when was the last time you took time off work or out of your busy schedule, whether you're an entrepreneur, an employee, to just relax and rest? Not with your family, not with your friends, but just by yourself. This doesn't include the unfortunate sick day or time taken to travel or for an event or for an occasion. It's a deliberate day you've dedicated to rest. So if you're thinking and you can't think of when, maybe this is your cue to do so. I don't know, just me speaking. But until next week, until another episode, stay safe, stay well, God bless, and get some rest.
Take off.